good evening, and welcome once again to Nerd Week Live here on YouTube, brought to you by the folks at Nerd Caliber. I am Rodney Brown, I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber,
Good evening,
also known as first-person shooter on the internet. I'm getting my voice again, probably me. It is in fact me. There we go. And this isn't just me being a normal idiot. This is actually me doing all of this on an incredibly ancient Toshiba laptop because I'm house sitting at a relative's. So you're hearing some fan noise and some other garbage stuff going on here. So I apologize for that. Yeah, there was that. Yeah.
How many times do I have to tell you, finish the vacuuming before the broadcast?
I really wish there was something I could turn off in here other than the computer to pretend we were a show. Anyway, also known as Burly Adopter on Twitter and some other places. And joining me tonight is, let's see, let's start with the non-bearded person, if you would.
Hello, I'm Gogo Incognito. I've been working for Nerd Caliber for many years. I absolutely love it. I'm a huge nerd. You can find me in various states of undress because I am also a Nerdlesque star at Gogo Incognito. That's all you need to know. Look up Gogo Incognito and I will show up everywhere, even on YouTube, getting naked. What's better than that?
Not much. Greg getting naked. No, Greg, if you would introduce yourself.
Sorry, she said better, not horrifying. Hi, everybody. Wonder Llama Cosplay and Photography coming at you. Associate producer with Nerd Caliber. I've been away for a few weeks with some medical crap, but I'm feeling better and psyched to be back on the interwebs. Quick shout out for anybody that's going to be at PAX a week from Friday. We are once again running our cosplay and photography shootout, finger guns. Cosplayer, photographer, you guys get paired randomly. We got a sorting hat. We give you a cool theme. You got about 45 minutes to go out, come up with a photo that represents that theme. We've done things like horror. We've done things like awkward prom date. We've done themes like summer vacation.
I've done that one.
We've all done that one. And it's a great way to show off your cosplay skills, your creative skills, your storytelling skills. Cosplayers, you're a walking story. You're a billboard for a cool story. So if you're going to be at PAX, Friday night, 8 o'clock, Bobcat Theater, we've got myself, Wonder Llama Photography. We've got Rodney Brown, a.k.a. First Person Shooter. We've got Bethany Maddock, fabulous cosplayer, and K-Hat Elysium, cosplayer extraordinaire as well. We've got an amazing panel. So if you're at PAX, cosplayer photographer extraordinaire, excuse me. We will see you there, hopefully.
There are some pictures of him cosplaying at one point, somewhere way back in the hinterlands, but yeah. I'm sorry, Go.
I know you guys know him well, but I think I've only met him once. So,
as someone who has been photographed many times in many places, I want to stress how amazing Wonder Llama Photography is and the amazing representation that you will get. Nerd Caliber photographs everybody. So if you are at PAX,
everybody we can
make an effort to find out.
We get people who say,
but I just mean like, and that's up to them. If you want to be photographed, they will photograph you, and the pictures are gonna look good.
So, but just to be clear, we will not be taking any pictures at this shootout. We're panelists. So
okay, never mind.
But we will be taking pictures all over PAX East, folks. So yes, Gogo.
That's what I know.
So for PAX folks, Rodney is usually set up in one of the sitting areas with some nice natural light. He gets everybody that goes by. I usually wander around. I do some feature shoots. If the weather is decent, even if the weather is crappy, I've been known to run around in a kilt in 5-degree snowing weather and take shots with anybody who's wearing crazy fur-covered Overwatch suits.
And again, to be clear, photos, the take shots is entirely up to him. Anyway,
potato.
Before we continue with that or get to more promotional stuff or get into the topics, welcome to the chat. H-N, Hack the Wolf, Christina, Barking Logic, Syria, I'm guessing, Palam, Lydia, Gaming Orlick, Sarah Stone, and Sarah if you're at Disney, why in the world are you on our chat? Thank you for being on our chat.
We welcome you. We welcome you.
Exactly, we welcome you. I hope you have your ears on. Anyway, we will also be at a very tiny con. If you're in the northern Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine area, there's a wonderful little con called Queen City Kamikaze. It's in Manchester, New Hampshire this weekend, Saturday only. And it is a con that's actually run by like the anime club of the local high school. It's really cool. It's tiny, it's super inexpensive, but they've got good vendors, a lot of fun stuff. You know, check it out. Trendy. Hi, how you doing? Long name Trendy. Sorry. Anyway, but we will also be at PAX in big numbers. So, getting on to our very first topic. With this one screen setup, let's see if I can do this. And that first topic is Now that is just some interesting blue and red stuff, right? It's a person with a stick. The news this is representing is that supposedly artwork for the upcoming Netflix new anime series called Gods and Heroes that's made by the same studio that does Castlevania. And it is essentially a new or an individual specific new character sort of telling the history of Greek mythology. And it looks really cool.
It does. It looks absolutely beautiful. Castlevania is one of those things that has been on my Netflix list for a while, where it is so beautiful and like people have been talking about it for so long. I like want to wait for some momentous occasion to watch it. Like I've put it on a pedestal is what I'm saying. And even just looking at these stills, they're gorgeous. Where I think they're going to have their challenge is that there are a lot of smart people and a lot of pagan people and a lot of people who really know the mythology. So they're going to have to be smart about the writing and the representation.
Now, therein lies what might be the problem with this show is that it's being written by even though it is being made by Powerhouse Animation and Netflix, it's being written by Charlie and Vlas Palarpanides, which I would assume they're Greek with a name like that, so that's cool. They wrote Death Note, the Netflix live-action Death Note.
Didn't watch it, didn't want to, sorry.
Yeah.
Same.
So, that's unfortunate. However, the voice talent... Oh, go ahead, Greg.
I guess it raises the question, though. So, Rodney, you saw the live-action Death Note?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you've also watched the anime.
Yes.
Okay. So, it sounds like you're the only one that's seen the live-action. How much of that can you put on the writers versus it being a notably funky, interesting, wild anime with really memorable characters that they tried to shoehorn into a live-action thing?
It's mostly the latter, I'll give you that. The changes that the writers made, for the most part, had to be made if they were making it an Americanization. Given that, there were some changes they didn't have to do in the way some of the characters function and interact. And I'm saying this kind of generically in case anybody doesn't want that live action spoiled. I don't know why. But it's... Yeah, all right, you're right. It's a good point. They may not be even the majority responsible for why that's a bad show. It may be more the directors. It's certainly in no small part the main character actor. So, good point. They could still do it. And this Netflix has picked up some amazing voice talent here.
I saw that. I was like, this is huge. This is legit. Like, I'll give it what you just said. I'll give it a whirl.
If this artwork is indicative, it looks very moody, very broody, very much in the same vein as the Castlevania artwork. If there's a strong parallel, Castlevania should have been a train wreck. It's a classic video game. It's well known, well loved. It had no business being as good as it was. It seemed like, I think we talked about it before it came out on the show, and we were like, is this going to be kind of like a straight to DVD, so to speak? Not literally, but that kind of low budget adaptation, and boom, it came out of nowhere, and it was pretty kick ass.
It was, and so when you have Warren Ellis writing, and you have like Richard Armitage, the main, who's the voice actor for the main character, it's they've got some good people behind it, and it's definitely, even though you would look at it and think, oh my god, it's a game adaptation, it's going to suck, and it clearly did.
Yep.
Some of to make the point here, some of the voice actors in this, Jason O'Mara is going to be they describe him, the voice of the main character. In IMDb, he's called Zeus, so the main character is Zeus. So I don't know why they're being coy with this article I'm looking at. But Jason O'Mara, who was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he has been the voice of Batman in more than a half dozen of the more recent DC animated movies. So, Jessica Henwick from Luke Cage, one of my favorites from I used to love the show Providence, Melina Kanakaridis, just a really solid cast.
Really solid. Like, people and if you don't know, then you know the series. So it's kind of like the pedigree of where these people are coming from. So it's... I'm ready for it. And I'm excited. I just hope that, well, actually, I don't have any hopes. I'm excited, whatever. Because I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, whoa, they didn't stick to, like, exactly what was in, like, Bullfinch's mythology or whatever. Like, go ahead.
Edith Hamilton or nothing. Apparently, it's a Greek geek nerd off here. Yeah, exactly. I can do the Batusi, too.
All right, let's do it. All right, there we go. No, but seriously, I'm so here for it. They've got the voice talent, they've got the animation. The only question up in the air is writing. Let's see how it does.
Exactly. Yep. All right, moving on to our next topic, and this is potentially something, much better, but from something much worse. Anyway, that image that just popped up there, folks, is a photo I shot way back when of Nicole Marie Jean and Dave Ross as Red Sonja and Conan. Back in MegaCon 6 years ago. But the news is about Red Sonja, and the potential news, the rumor, I'm going to stress that this is still a rumor based on all of the research that I've done, is that Bryan Singer is completely and officially out of the Red Sonja movie, that he was no longer associated with it at all. I say it's still a rumor because this story broke from the Hollywood Reporter back about 6 days ago. Everybody picked it up, and there has been no confirmation of it or any article that did not either just assume that it was a guarantee and then pass that along as given, or properly say report or rumor since then. So nobody else has independently confirmed this. And it is based on one paragraph that is buried deep inside a story that's just generally about the project itself. Actually, it's more about the shakeup in the overall Warner Brothers, Warner Media higher-ups. And the article just happens to say that the head that was working with Millennium Films, which is making it, said that eventually, this is a quote, eventually he dropped Singer from the project because he was unable to secure a domestic distributor. Nobody else has verified that, so. But, boy, are my fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. I have to, hold on, I have nerve damage. There we go, we got him. We got him. Be careful when you snowboard, kids. Be careful when you snowboard.
Good advice.
Seriously, though, I would be delighted, more than delighted. He needs to be gone. Yes, he's talented, but he's a creep. It's been proved. It goes into the Me Too thing, and it's very important. And the thing that was really sucky, even in that article that we read, was that his backers were there like, well, Mia, until they couldn't get distribution.
Yep.
So it really, for them, became all about money. Well, good. I mean, money talks. And may it still, but it's still kind of gross and it's kind of shitty.
Yep.
So, bye, boy, bye. I mean,
it's
my will up to the universe.
It's Hollywood. You know, I mean, I'm not in any way surprised that even in March of 2019, that it comes down to not Bryan Singer is a fairly deplorable human being, not people have walked off the set because he's impossible to work with. It's nobody wants to put our movies in theaters and we'll lose money, so you know, it sucks. I couldn't agree with you more, but unfortunately, it's the reality of how movie making works these days.
I hope though that because he has had so many successes, I hope that we won't give him money is because of all the allegations and all the things. And it's like, we don't want to work with an abuser, and so we just hope that that's the reason that he's not getting. Whatever. I
mean, you know, the old expression, money talks, bullshit walks. It's kind of like, maybe in this case, money talks, toxic assholes walk. And if enough people decide he's a toxic asshole, there is no money.
Let's hope that goes forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The article, now that I think about it, he makes a good point down at the bottom of this. I should have thought about that. They didn't report this until 24 hours after THR had, or the Hollywood Reporter had it up, and said if this weren't true, you would have to assume someone at Millennium, or perhaps the executive, this guy named Lerner, who they supposedly quote, would have asked for a correction or an edit. I don't know. Unless this is their way of their Hollywood behind-the-scenes backdoor way of getting the word out without officially getting the word out that they fired him. No. Hollywood. They're weird.
Yeah, I don't quite speak Hollywoodese. New Yorker, so sorry.
Yeah. I can't even think of what a horrible thing that would be to actually speak that language.
Yeah. Moving on to weird Hollywood stuff, part 2. This is apparently a very confirmed report that Ezra Miller is working on the script himself for the solo Flash movie, and there's apparently a good reason for it, that if he doesn't get this approved by May, his what they call hold on the property disappears, and the Warner Brothers DC can go in any direction they want. Apparently the direction that they want is a funny movie that plays on the funny aspects of the Flash in Justice League. It's one of the only good things about Justice League.
It was so bad.
Oh, it was so bad. And he wants to go a somewhat darker route.
Doesn't that seem exactly opposite of what you would expect?
Yeah.
Given everyone hated Justice League and Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman because of the Zack Snyder grim dark horribleness.
Make it through.
And then once they went a little more lighthearted, a little goofier, Jason Momoa came in and brought the big goofball aspect to Aquaman, that would be, that's the direction they want to go. Ezra Miller is the biggest goofball of all of them.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rodney.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, again, we have seen the patented Marvel humor come around, and it has been, and we've seen it through multiple movies, even in dark movies, even in Infinity Wars, we're seeing it, and it works. So they keep doing it. And so I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard that Shazam, the newest DC offering, actually has a better sense of humor than a lot of the other movies. And so what I have heard, and again, I haven't seen it, but I have seen Wonder Woman, is that you have Wonder Woman as this hallmark, and then you have Shazam as this oh my God, they actually did it. They actually made something funny. So I get the desire to make Flash comical, especially with the success of the CW show. I get it. That has become a brand in and of itself. That's not Ezra Miller. Even though he can do comedy, but I'm kind of again, I'm also here for queer representation. So I'm kind of boy, make it good. Make it good.
I wonder if
fair.
He's worried about not being able to get in the story of Barry's sort of tragic family history, because that's pretty important to who he is. And if even that is something that Warner Brothers has said, yeah, no, we want this to be Shazam 2. You know, we want it to be that light.
Was said?
Hmm?
That was a thing?
No, I don't know that they've said that, but that would. I'm wondering if that's the degree of lightness that Warner Brothers wants, which would completely wash out Barry's tragic story about his parents.
Yep.
And I can see then why Ezra Miller would have a problem with that. And by the way, Ezra Miller does dark really well,
Yes.
particularly in his appearance in the first Fantastic Beasts movie. That's a really dark, sad character.
He is an absolute talent, and I'm here for whatever he does. I'd like to see it come to pass. I think he's got a lot to offer.
I mean, my guess and certainly my hope is that they find a way to sort of thread that needle and make it funny and not grimdark the way the Zack Snyder stuff is, without being slapstick or a quote unquote comedy. You could be fun. I mean, Ant-Man, I would hold that up as a good example of, I mean, is it the greatest movie of all time? No. But it's a fun, lighthearted, it's one of those movies that if I'm just sitting around on a Thursday night and nothing else is on, I'm like, hey, I could watch Scott Rudd put on a super suit. Let's go. Come on.
Or Paul
It's a good
Rudd.
time.
Exactly.
What did I say?
Rudd as Ant-Man?
Scott Rudd, Paul Rudd, they're all the same.
No. Do I watch both movies often when I'm at the gym? Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, those were funny and comic without being, a comedy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the mold.
Smart comedy.
Guess
So
we'll find out.
Let's hope Miller gets this, because I'd love to see him do this role again. He was so good. Like I said, the only good thing about that movie. All right, moving on to our next one, and my guess is this is going to be really quick, because I'm thinking this is probably just me. I'm the only one who knows what this is, or is at all excited about it. But that image right there is from the graphic novel, the manga Warrior Nun Ariella. And the news is that Netflix is making a series of Warrior Nun. They're calling it just Warrior Nun because apparently they're changing the main character's name to Ava for whatever reason. But the description of the other characters, including Shotgun Mary, are all in there, and it is a wonderful, very Japanese manga anime sort of look at this idea of an arm of the Catholic Church that, like, literally fights demons with swords and guns and so on. And it's a lot of fun. It's a hoot. Very interesting. Great violence and so on. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they'll keep the same level of sort of both paying homage to and taking digs at the Catholic Church that's in the manga. But I'm not necessarily sure that they're going to do that. Although, I guess, again, getting back to the Castlevania anime, boy, did they trash the church. So have either of you seen this manga or graphic novel? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I haven't, but I did read the character descriptions. Anybody named Shotgun Mary is somebody that I'm interested in completely. Also, there was a manga years ago. It had a T, Trinity something. It was vampires in the Catholic Church.
Trinity Blood.
Trinity Blood. I was like, is it Trinity Blade? Is it whatever? That was one of my favorites. Again, I something that comes in, whether it's like a preacher, which I read but never watched, and just like gives you this like religion, and then just goes. I'm here for it, and also I am here for another female-led show with some bad asses with the Netflix money behind it. Here for it. Here, I read the character descriptions. I was like,
okay,
I have a new mom.
The young cast is diverse as all get out. The lead, the woman who's going to be playing Ava, is apparently Portuguese, and her IMDb listings lists nothing done in English. All of her movies have been in Portuguese. It looks like they really went way out of their way to make this just incredibly diverse.
Then what I ask is when it actually comes out, we talk about it again.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we will for sure.
Awesome.
Moving on
Perfect.
from that, which again, like I said, is kind of I'm the only one who listens to that. To this, and this is of course the screen grab of the Crunchyroll main screen, or the show's main screen. The news is that Crunchyroll has started working much more closely, hand in fist, with Cartoon Network, and specifically, of course, their Adult Swim block of entertainment, which makes an awful lot of sense because they both actually have for years been owned by Warner Media, but now that AT&T bought Time Warner and has Warner Media, AT&T has been consolidating and creating synergy at an insane level over the last about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, since the deal was, since the Justice Department said we're no longer going to try to block this as a monopoly. And they've been, as I kind of mentioned in the thing about Bryan Singer, they've been axing or watching the departure of top executives left and right, but also announcing all kinds of these synergistic moves. And if you are an anime fan, but you don't want to spend the money for Crunchyroll, rejoice, because you're going to get to see a lot more popular anime coming from Crunchyroll onto the Adult Swim platform.
If you're up at 1:30 Sunday morning.
Well, there's that. Or you have, you have your...
Or you have a DVR.
Yeah, you have your DVR. Yeah. So, no word in the article about, what properties might be coming out first or anything like that. Just that it's going to happen, and it will probably have a pretty big impact on the kind of stuff people who don't want to pay the money for the streaming services will get to see. So moving on to our next piece of news, and that is that wonderful little bit of Endgame right there. The Avengers Endgame second trailer dropped right after our last show, the next day. And it's just fantastic. If you haven't seen it, of course, go watch it. It's amazing. Boy, does it bring up all kinds of questions. All kinds of questions. From, from Black Widow's ever-changing hairstyle to how does Tony get from being trapped on a spaceship with Nebula to the two of them being in their new wonderful whatever suits.
So what's up with those suits?
So what's up with those suits? Yeah. I mean, I think that the first thing I thought of when I saw those suits that are on the screen right now was like, oh, those look an awful lot like Ant-Man suits. I'm guessing these are Quantum Realm dive suits, that these are for going into the Quantum Realm. And either Tony and or Bruce, sort of based on the Ant-Man suit, whip these suckers up.
I'm guessing they're to sell cosplay licensed designs.
Well, there could be that. Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see the first one of these at PAX East. I mean,
We are absolutely going to see these at PAX.
I'm sure.
If not, then by, pick your next major down the road.
So, have you guys seen this? Have you read any of the... you haven't seen it yet, Greg?
I'm that weird ass dude who kind of refuses to watch trailers. I haven't watched any of the Game of Thrones trailers. I haven't watched any of the Avengers trailers. I want to go in cold. What'd you say, Gogo?
I said, have we talked about Game of Thrones yet? Did I miss that?
We
Was
did.
that last
No,
week?
no. I just.
That was last week,
yeah,
Gogo,
okay.
sorry.
I just mentioned that because, I know all of the Game of Thrones trailers are dropping. People's minds are exploding. They're freaking out. I don't want to see them. Call me old-fashioned.
So,
but,
I'm guessing, Greg, you don't want to have this discussion.
I will go pour a shot of whiskey and drink it while you're la 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 la.
So,
it's fine. All
right. Well, the discussion would be, what particular theory or interesting thing that makes you wonder what's going on you saw in the trailer, but you haven't seen it. Gogo, do you have anything that you went, ooh, what does this mean when you saw it?
I'm also just coming out of seeing Captain Marvel finally because I was away. I was in Alaska.
So also, just Gogo, just make sure, no spoilers ever.
No spoilers. I will just say, if you go to see Captain Marvel, expect an amazing movie. Stay till the very, very end. So I'm not going to say anything, but I'll just say I got to. And then there's the thing that just came out where we get the different perspective, where we're looking, where again, they shot it through a different perspective. And it's kind of like, oh, maybe this, like, did they say
so the guy that
trailer?
So
I don't know
what Gogo was talking about. Just so you know, what Gogo was talking about is that somebody posted up one of the more vertical framed teaser trailer versions of the trailer, like they put out for social media, like Facebook, says watch this trailer. And because they did that, it's actually reframed slightly, and you can see lower on people than in the standard YouTube trailer, and it shows people moving things around and stuff that are kind of like, ooh, really? Worth watching if you're not like Greg and you want to go, oh, what does that mean? So,
the latest trailer. If you are the kind of person who wants to go frame by frame by frame, which I am, and you want to look at everything, and you're like, there are things in there. Think Ant-Man, because that's this conversation started with Ant-Man. Think Ant-Man. Think Quantum Realm. And I don't have any answers. I'm in it for the journey, man. I'm not one of those people who's like, it's gonna be this. I'm like, I'm here. Like, surprise me. But we do know that Ant-Man's part of it.
Well,
we do know. So they've been showing that from the get-go with the trailers.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to go see it, folks, go see it. It's got all sorts of good stuff. And if you're the kind of person like I am who will then go to YouTube and look at all the theories, go watch those. Watch the one, I don't know if it was Nerdist, it might have been Nerdist, who goes into a great deal of depth about why this may be setting up a Young Avengers franchise.
Not see that.
Check it out.
Interesting.
It's a lot of fun. Anyway, moving on to our last topic, and I love this. I can't tell you how much I love this.
Mimsy says hello.
Oh my God, it's Goose. Oh, hi, Mimsy. So speaking of cute animals, there's a picture of James Gunn with an actual raccoon. The news is, I'm sure you've all seen this and heard this and read this, James Gunn is back on the job at Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as the director, without having to give up his new multi-picture deal at DC. He will still be making Suicide Squad 2.
That's unbelievable.
Bless.
Somebody said this on Twitter, and it just absolutely infuriates me that I didn't think of this and say it first. The alt-right not only didn't get him fired off of Disney, he is now working for both Marvel and DC at the same time. The only person to do that. Exactly.
No pressure.
Well, yeah, there's that.
No one's paying attention now. It's another day at the office.
You know that no matter what, that this is going to make $1 bazillion on its first weekend. Both of these two movies.
No question.
Just
no
because
question.
It's like, oh, I'm going to go see if either he succeeded or failed.
So
please succeed. Please bring the magic you've been bringing. Please succeed.
Exactly.
Please. And
so
also bring it to DC. Sorry, Greg. Sorry.
No, please.
I'm just talking to the universe.
Has there been any talk at all about Guardians 3? Any script, story ideas, or is that still way too far down the road? I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen anything either. I know that, I would assume, although I haven't seen this confirmed, that since they brought Gunn back, it will be him working on the script that he had already written, or at least the treatment for a script that he had already written. He has the story already set. So,
True, I forgot about that part. Yep.
So yeah, I would assume that that's, and there is all kinds of possible interaction with the now much more cosmic Marvel universe. Um, to quote Faith, yes, Captain Marvel is the best. Not to give out any spoilers, but we kind of know because she's in the Kree universe, we know that it's a cosmic thing.
Yep.
So there might be an awful lot more synergy there. I would just die if it was more about the pirates. I can't remember the name of the Brotherhood. Because
Yandu's guys.
Yeah, Yondu's larger family, Ravagers. About the Ravagers.
The Ravagers.
Yeah, Ravagers.
Yes. Different families of Ravagers.
Because Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone talking and like.
Exactly. But yeah, so we don't know that for sure. We also the only thing we know about Suicide Squad 2 is that he's writing it as sort of a reboot. That he's going to. Obviously he can't go back and retell the origin story, but that's the way it's been described. Is he's sort of going to ignore almost everything that happened in the first one and either take it in a completely different direction from the get-go, or consider it kind of a reboot.
Keep Margot Robbie, everybody else dead here.
Well, yeah, no,
fair enough.
Except they have confirmed this: Jared Leto will not be coming back.
I'm so thrilled about that. I'm so thrilled. I also saw some spoiler, and you might have talked about it on the weeks when I was away, or something with Idris Elba.
Not confirmed.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, he was. There was a strong talk that he was cast in that.
Right, that he's going to be taking over as Deadshot from Will Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
And that gives the show some class.
So, you know what I want to see is Suicide Squad 2, where Jared Leto plays every single character in the movie.
No, you don't.
That would be, oh my god, it would be so good.
That, kids, is what we call roller.
Oh, sorry, I thought I could do that with a straight face. I could.
No, you don't.
So hold on a sec. Luminous says, the speculation I heard is that Gunn's script for Guardians 3 sets up other movies down the road, and that might have been one motivation for not firing it.
Huh, interesting.
That could make... So...
Sounds altogether plausible.
At the end of Guardians 2, and this is a spoiler alert, folks, if you have not seen this. So, do that, plug them ears. I'll wave like this. I'll do the John Cena when I'm done talking about it.
I have seen it, yes.
At the end of Guardians 2, the cocoon that clearly is there to bring about Adam Warlock, the ultimate perfect end product of human evolution, is ready to be opened. Yeah, and he vogues a lot.
No, I meant me.
Oh.
You're talking about the ultimate human evolution.
Oh, yeah,
I assume
of course.
you meant me.
It's the blue that gives it away. Thank you, Gogo, for that editorializing. So,
fair.
Yes, Guardian 3 could set up Adam Warlock as something important in the next phase of the cosmic area of Marvel movies, which I would love. Or it could set the Nova Corps. I mean, there's so many other places. Rom the Space Knight. No. So many other places they could go in that cosmic universe. So, folks, I think that's it. Looks like we've wrapped it up. Kudos, finally, just again to James Gunn for hanging around long enough to let Disney get their heads out of their asses.
Yeah, there are things you cancel people for that are correct, like Bryan Singer. And there are things that you're like, oh.
Yeah, so if this was
it's chin scratcher, and you're like, but it's not.
Right. If this was Tucker Carlson saying racist things that were clearly what he actually believes and not trying to be a trendy edgelord on Twitter, which is what James Gunn was saying with his jokes about sexual assault and so on.
So terrible, but so long ago and so idiotic.
And he had apologized and realized his mistake and apologized repeatedly, multiple times in the years since then. He's clearly evolved as a human being. And Disney fired him anyway because an alt-right group went, "Oh my God, look, Disney," which they knew about anyway. So, but we could get all sorts of verklempt about this, and no, let's not. Let's end on the high note of yay, James Gunn, welcome back, thank you very much. So once again, for Gogo Incognito, the nerd with the word of the anyway. There's no way I can't even make that
I actually do have a tagline. I am the sexy nerd who will rock your world. And also, Alabama, I'm coming to you this week for the first time. It'll be down in Mobile to perform at the Mobile Burlesque Festival. So you can see me there.
Cool.
Sweet.
And for Wonderland Photography, Greg, welcome back to the world of health.
Thank you.
And again, if you're a cosplayer or a photographer, you want a good challenge and a lot of fun, and you're going to be at PAX East, come check out our panel/challenge Friday night, 8 p.m. Bobcat Theater, the cosplay and photography shootout. And also for myself,
right.
Rodney Brown. Oh, Greg.
So I'm gonna throw this out there just because Trendy and the Ink Machine has been asking patiently on our chat several times. Favorite video game, Rodney? Go.
No idea.
No idea. Okay. Nope. Go. I know the answer to this one.
Borderlands and every Resident Evil ever. They live here. They live right here. They live here. They live here.
So that means your heart.
And I'm gonna go with the two classics: BioShock, any of the franchise, Fallout, pretty much any of the franchise.
Cool.
Borderlands.
Thank you, folks, for joining us.
And then Borderlands. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for being in the chat, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.